How you doing?
Are you a poet?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. But help yourself. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, he was very excited.
Does a good job of covering everything that's happening.
Because we met her
Oh yeah.
like wealthy or some friends. And
It's got a wonderfully sort of friendly coastalness. It's like points and
Oh, Darren. How are you?
Oh, good. So happy. Yeah, stop by and check it out for me.
I shot Mandir again last night.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
He's
Four
still
times.
here.
Yeah, he's here for another 2 weeks.
How was that show?
Good.
You think?
Yeah, I think it was very good, yeah. He is sorry, good yard.
But, yeah, I wanted to stop by. I want to look at the photos in the window.
Same as those.
Thank you very much. Whatever
cope with it by working with
A friend of mine invited me.
Really?
And,
To do this
I
space?
do it, yeah.
Wow. And then what happened?
Hey, he was great.
It's not good for an interview, but yeah. The Karen Watson back there is one, but she's really volunteering.
very different
Are you going to talk? Did you leave it?
Actually, I got a little speaker now.
Oh, no, you did. Yeah, you're going to do that right now.
I used to cover that a lot. And there's a tall guy.
I'm sure you have like a million points.
No, I just have a couple. I want to put this here. I've got about five points in here. One of them is included. No, two. Okay.
Okay. Cozy here. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Hello. Great to see all of you. Who knew so many people would come for poets? It's just a wonderful thing to see. My name is Marlene Nienhuis. I'm the president of the Friends of the South End Library, and this event is connected to a project that we started earlier this year, which is really the project of another board member, Karen Watson. I asked her to look at the windows of the South End Library and see what we could do with it, and lo and behold, it became an exhibit space. And Greg is actually the second artist we've had. We've had various nonprofits and local business entrepreneurs who displayed their wares and what they were doing. And Greg Jundanian's photography was just really very exciting. I just want to say that the South End Library Friends also have just funded a project that is a play reading book club. So it's a collaboration with Arts Emerson, the Emerson Theater, and what they do with the South End Library is people who sign up for this program, they read the script, they talk about the script, theater artists take them through it, and then they go and see the play. And it's all for free, and except for the tickets, which will be at a very reduced price. And it starts on October 27th. The first play is Mala by Melinda Lopez, who was called one of the most important theater writers in Boston at the moment. The second one is called The Beauty Queen of Linane, which is by Martin McDonagh. He's a very well-known Irish playwright. And the third one is called 17 Border Crossings by Thaddeus Phillips. And that will take place in April. So the first play will start on October 27, but the group starts on October 12. So please sign up downstairs or by email. So anyway, let me introduce to you Greg Jundanian, who he describes himself as an emerging artist, and he has emerged with fabulous photographs, a number of different projects he had. The ones that we have on display here is called the Poetry Project. He visited many local poetry slams, took pictures, and the poets wrote on them. And this is what we have. So without much further ado, I will hand it over to Greg. Thank you for coming, and consider purchasing or taking some of these wonderful little collections here as well.
Thank you. After these are free, these chapbooks, and if we run out, then the folks here have chapbooks they can sell, so help yourself afterwards. Really, you're going to learn tonight the difference between a BS artist and a spoken word artist, which is, I'm not a spoken word artist. But, I want to thank, first of all, everyone for coming. Karen Watson. I don't think Ann's up here. I didn't see Ann, but Karen Watson and Marlene Ninehouse organized this. And can you raise your hand, Karen? So, hugs to Karen and Marlene throughout the evening if you see them and you're close by. A special thanks also to the poets who are here tonight, who without this project wouldn't exist. Now, Marlene asked me to say a few words about why I'm doing this or what's going on. And for the most part, I really I love photography, but I enjoy more than anything else taking photographs of people. And the reason is that I just enjoy trying to connect with people and trying to figure out the commonality, people who maybe on the surface I might not have anything in common with. We all make these assumptions when we meet people. And that's sort of from, being born into the communities that we're being born into. We're born into a community. It's totally by chance. And then as we get older, we start thinking, what happened? Why am I born into this family? Why am I born into this community? And we start to self-select communities or create communities that each of us feels more comfortable in, where there's a commonality. And I enjoy sort of sticking my head under the tent in these various communities and getting to know folks, and my photography hopefully embodies that. Right now I'm working on my town of Dedham. Michael might be next, who knows. The town of Dedham, and I love taking photographs of barbershops for some reason, sort of micro communities. And, the poetry project I've been doing has been spectacular for me personally. It's been getting into a community where people are really accepted on all and any level. It's very rare, actually, to walk into a community where you're accepted and people respect you no matter what. And that's what I love about it. I've actually experienced some internal growth, which is, I didn't think that would ever happen. But anyways, I started this, quite by chance. I went to a Haitian quilt exhibit that actually Carrie had on her Facebook site, and I saw that, and I go, I'm going to go to that. And it was at the Haley House, and when I was there, somebody said, there's an open mic afterwards. And I had never been or experienced an open mic in my life, and I was blown away by it. The guy who is right behind Darren there got up and spoke really the story of redemption. And then another woman, and he had everybody in the audience in tears. And then afterwards, another woman got up and spoke about her mother's cooking, and everybody in tears of laughter. And it was a very powerful experience, and I went to a couple, and then I actually decided to do one for the hell of it to see what it was like. It scared the hell out of me. But then, and something I will never do, is a poetry slam, but then I started going to poetry slams, which was sort of an outgrowth because they were at the Haley House also, and they're at various places throughout the city, the Cantab, and there's a place out of Porter Square, I'm spacing on the name, but there's poetry slams all the time, and they're spectacular to walk into because people will get up there and they'll bare their souls. It's an incredibly cathartic experience. People are up there talking about whether it's race, sexuality, mental illness, abuse, in front of people they don't know, and the audience is accepting no matter what, whether the poetry is good or bad, and sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it doesn't matter. But people get up there and they do it, and it's a very welcoming audience. So, first of all, I recommend that the Haley House is every other Friday, second and fourth Friday, and the Cantab's every Wednesday, and the Lizard Lounge, that's the one I was thinking about, is every Sunday. And there's a few more. There's ones in Providence, there's a couple on the North Shore. They're all over the Boston area, and it's absolutely worth going to, and it's been a learning experience for me. And I could use some of you in here to go with me because I'm by far the oldest person in the room, so it'd be nice to have a little bit of company. What I like about it and what I've kind of learned, it's been an inspiration, both the acceptance and the courage that people have to get up and talk about things, and that's been good for me. One thing I had never heard about until I went to this is trigger warnings. I was like, what, a trigger warning? And so I don't know what folks are going to talk about tonight, so general trigger warning. Trigger warning is, I have no idea, and you just have to respect it, and if you have a problem with anything, you should leave. I think, is that a good trigger warning? I have no idea. There you go. But anyways, there are a few folks here that are going to read, and I've never really introduced poets before, but they're all spectacular folks and good friends. And again, some of them brought chapbooks, and you're more than welcome to take one. So I guess I'll start in the way I wrote it down, which is no particular order. John Pinkham is a good friend and the person in this photograph. Allegra, how are you? Allegra's over here, John Pinkham's over here. But maybe John could get up and read first. John and I took how many shoots? Like 4 or 5 shoots? Yeah. By the way, you think that poets have a great use of the English language, and that's true, but they have the patience of Job to work with them, which is something I hadn't really been expecting. And John is a fine example of that. We probably did about 4 shoots in that area in his backyard at dusk. He's a great storyteller, and I just want to welcome John. And basically, people say 1 or 2 poems each, and in the interest of time, and we'll take it from there. And John actually volunteered to introduce the other poets, so I might put him on the spot.
The podium feels a little weird to me, so I'm just kind of be in the corner. A hand for Greg. Greg is he's kind of a person that takes something he's interested in and like sees it all the way through in a way that's like incredibly inspiring. Really appreciates process. We can all learn a lot from taking that kind of initiative in our lives, I think. So yeah, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get right into it. We talk about ghosts like there aren't any walking among us. Like every story shared isn't already a phantom of the truth we left behind for a better telling. It is the not talking about what keeps us up at night. The absence. The levy between denial and the hooked hands of the things we know are killing us is where a ghost is born. When someone tells me they don't believe in ghosts, I ask them to tell me a story. Because there is a desert of ashen sand where live the inventions of our careless words, where every untruth about the people in our lives become ghosts and live in the corners of our mouths. When someone tells me they don't believe in ghosts, I like to tell them a story. I tell them I am 14 years old, working at a harborside restaurant in a part of town where there are no street lamps. The pine wood support beams are so old, there are black soot marks from when clinicians burned yellow fever off the ceiling. At the end of my first month, I'm in the basement, looking for a package of 42-inch linen when I see a young girl in a white dress folding napkins into the most miraculous shapes imaginable. When I double take, the lights flicker and she's gone. But for a pile of white cloth, I would say she was never there at all. I learned later that a girl named Mary starved to death in a basement in the 1700s when her parents locked her in to keep her safe from a raid. They both died. So did she, just a lot slower. Now, there's a table in the corner where a closet once was that we say belongs to her. We joke. We say, bring a sweater. But what if I told you that I'm not sure I saw anything in the first place? That I spit untruth onto the ground and rubbed